everybody! Today we are going to be painting Beta Ray Bill. Also, sorry he's a little blurry. We'll fix that later. He'll be in focus, I promise. Already got him primed and ready to go. And all of these paints are going to be the paints that I used today. They are all Citadel. I don't actually end up using that gold though. I use the P3 gold. And then the primer is also Citadel in the color Wraithbone. So let's get into it. Alright, so the first color that we're going to be throwing on old Beta Ray Bill here is a contrast color called Skeleton Horde. This is actually one of my favorite tans that I own. I actually don't super love this as an actual like bony color unless I throw the medium, the contrast medium into it and kind of thin it down a little bit, because there's kind of just too much brown in my opinion for it to be like a normal bony color. But it is absolutely perfect for skin color for Beta. So the next color that we're putting on Beta for his clothes essentially is another contrast color called Talisar Blue. It is by far my most favoriteest blue ever. It's like the realest blue. It's also easily darkened if you just throw some Nuln oil on it, which I actually do later, but it's absolutely perfect. For Beta's chest piece and his little hat and little wristlets too, I'm throwing on a base color Iron Hands Steel. One of my favorite little tricks, if you will, is to put like a metallic kind of color underneath a contrast color just to give it a little bit of shine. So that's what I do for his chest piece. Before I moved on to my next color, I decided to do some cleanup on the head and around like the belt area with Base Corax White. I'm just going back in with Skeleton Horde for that spot on the head. So before I go in with the gold for his boots and the hammer, I'm going in with a yellow. It's Contrast Bad Moon Yellow. This is my favorite yellow ever. It doesn't really pool well as an actual contrast, but it doesn't give off that orangey color that the Iandan yellow does either. The reason I'm doing this is I find that when you put yellow underneath gold, it actually makes your gold pop like super much. So for Beta's cape, I'm going in with Contrast Blood Angels Red. I actually almost went in with a darker red, the Flesh Terrors Red, but I actually decided, I mean, it's a superhero cape, you have to go bright red. Now that that yellow is dry, I'm going in with the gold. It's not a contrast or a citadel, surprising. It's a P3 paint in the color Brass. Even though it's called Brass, it's definitely 100% gold. I'm not crazy, it's definitely gold. I do actually do 2 layers of this though, even though I don't technically like need it. One is definitely fine as long as you put yellow underneath of it. The second layer was really only to kind of cover a little bit of the streakiness that I was seeing, but you really don't have to do that if you're gonna throw a shade over top of that anyway, like I end up doing. For the little strap here for the hammer, I'm going in with Contrast Basilicanum Gray. And you know what, I probably butchered the pronunciation of that, and that is totally okay. I call it Basilica Gray. I also use the gray on his little chest piece, and the reason I didn't actually just throw Nuln Oil on top instead is because I find that you'd have to do a couple layers to get it as dark as you want, but then it would kind of dull that shine too much, where I don't find that contrast colors actually dull the shine as much as shades do. So once again, I need to go in and clean up just a little bit before I kind of move on to the next color bit. And I'm going in again with the base Corax White. I've actually used some Lamian Medium to thin this down just a little bit, make it easier to work with, since I'm kind of really focusing on where the lightning is coming off of his hammer. And you'll see at the top, I love using bottle caps actually to mix colors either for a home broom or to thin them down. I did decide that the blue ended up being just like the teensiest bit too bright, even though it's my favorite blue and it's absolutely perfect and can do no wrong. So I decided to go in with some shade Nuln Oil just to kind of darken it up just a little bit. Since I was already using one shade, I decided this was the perfect time to use my other shade, Agrax Earth shade, the brown version of Nuln Oil for everything gold, his boots and the hammer, just to give it the little bit more pop that it needs. So for the lightning, I'm using Contrast Aethermatic Blue, and I am putting it on kind of heavy. I really do want those big pools of contrast paint, just because I'm going to do a very heavy white dry brush later. So this next bit I do off camera just because I need to get it close to my face, but I'm going to be doing some detailing on his head while the lightning is drying. I'm going to pick out the bone features and his teeth and his eyes, and also highlight his helmet with Stormhost Silver. And now for my absolutely favorite part. I absolutely love dry brushing so much. I'm using, again, the base Corex White. I think it just makes everything pop, especially if you're looking for something that's supposed to be not like glowing, but definitely supposed to have like highlight parts. I'm not somebody who's good at actually highlighting, so I find that dry brushing really does make things pop and brings out features really well. And last step, which again I am going to do off screen, is basing. Alright guys, that is a finished Beta Ray Bill. He did take about 2 hours to paint. Super fun, super easy, except for the parts where parts of him got in the way of other parts of him. But that's mainly because I'm not the person that can paint and then assemble. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my painting video today. And remember, here at Married Couple Protocol, we love you.